How you doing? How my people doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty well myself, actually. Today is the 4th of February. It's Sunday. And what I'd like to talk today about is benzodiazepines, colloquially called benzos. And I'm sure you've heard the term Ativan, Klonopin, Xanax, Valium. You know what they are. They were initially developed in 1955 by a guy named Sternbach. Accidentally in 1955 he isolated it, and they were looking for something that would take the place of the barbituates, because there was a high overdose liability on that medication. So they were looking for something a little less, I guess it had abuse potential. They were looking for something that had less overdose liability. Little did they know that later on that their data and research would prove otherwise. But in 1963, Valium was developed. And you may have heard the Rolling Stones song Mother's Little Helper. Well, that was about Valium. So what do the benzodiazepines do? Well, they have several properties depending on what medication you're using. Xanax is typically used for acute anxiety. And again, these medications should be used relatively short term before any kind of antidepressants or take effect, and they typically can take up to like 6 weeks according to medical literature. And again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a medical professional. If you're having any kind of problem with benzodiazepines, with alcohol, with anything like that, mental health, please consult your physician or medical provider. So Valium kind of seemed to be the I don't know, the cure-all, for housewives. I hate to use that word, but that's Mother's Little Helper. Was talked about that. They're basically used for anti-seizure, especially clonazepam. Klonopin is used for anti-seizure properties. Valium is also used for that. Librium. Those medications are actually, the Librium and the Valium are typically used, and now Ativan, lorazepam are used for alcohol withdrawal. When you're treated for that in a medical environment. But so, as time went on, I guess they realized that there was an addictive component to the benzodiazepines. People became dependent fairly rapidly, especially dependent on the half-life of the medication. Diazepam has a pretty long half-life, as does Librium, and it has metabolites that exist, that extend the half-life. So the metabolites will, delay withdrawal to come on. But something shorter acting, like lorazepam, Ativan, or alprazolam, Xanax, you're going to see like a rapid onset of withdrawal symptoms, typically to 6 to 12 hours, according to the literature. The way it acts is similar to alcohol on the GABA complex. In the brain. The GABA A complex, it binds in several areas. You have the barbiturate part of GABA, alcohol, benzos, they have a binding spot. And also there's like a newer class of drugs called the Z drugs, which are typically used for sleep, which are drugs like zolpidem and zalopidem. And doctors are starting to get kind of wary, prescribing these things, because they can cause physical dependency. I'm trying to keep these videos kind of concise, because I know the attention span of everybody, especially these videos, it seems like I'm not getting that many views. I want to keep them compressed, so if you will. So pardon my brevity here. But they act on the GABA complex, which, if taken long enough, what it does is it downregulates the free-flowing GABA that's in your body, and causes an upregulation of excitatory neurotransmitters like cortisol and norepinephrine. That's what leads to your withdrawal syndrome. And believe me, the withdrawal from benzos is about the longest of any addictive substance. Withdrawal syndrome is extremely long because according to one doctor that I talked to, the benzodiazepines bind tighter to these GABA receptors than do the other drugs. Typically alcohol withdrawal lasts 5 to 6 days, maybe a little bit longer. Opioids, 7 days, 10 days, and you're done. Benzodiazepines can last, 28 days worth of acute type situations. And then you have like the post-acute withdrawal, which can last for years. I mean, there have been reports of, people that have had such terrible post-acute withdrawal, they can't get out of bed, they lose all kinds of weight, they can't function, they get depersonalization, derealization, where you feel like you're out of your body and you can't function very well at all. Very unfortunate, and a lot of physicians now are not prescribing benzodiazepines anymore, simply because of the research and the abuse potential. And Xanax in popular culture has become, unfortunately, I've seen necklaces that show the 2 milligram bars, people wearing them that say Xanax. You shouldn't promote like a drug that's so addictive like that. In my opinion, it's just not a good thing. So back to the withdrawal, your typical, depending on the half-life of the medication, the shorter acting benzos like Xanax can cause psychosis and withdrawal, sweating, nausea, vomiting, a feeling of paranoia, just completely being like out of your head. I have been prescribed a certain benzodiazepine in the past, and the withdrawal is not pleasant, and it is very long. And now, excuse me, there's a lot of people that are ordering things online, research chemicals that are not approved by the FDA, that are simply out there, and then apparently anybody can buy them. Ativan is like one benzodiazepine that's not approved, and it's very short acting, and a lot of people have become dependent on that, and it's just not something you want to be where you want to be. The withdrawal, like in this stuff, like I said, is about the longest there is of any addictive substance. It can lead to all kinds of serious problems, and it's just not something that you want to fool around with. So I'm just giving my people there a heads up. You know, short term, it's okay if you're, you know, experiencing extreme panic, and a doctor may prescribe you a short you know, prescription of Xanax. That's okay. I mean, and I hope, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying in the medical literature and in your physician's mind, if he's going to prescribe that, then he would have come to that conclusion. Using it for alcohol withdrawal, diazepam or Valium or chlorodiazepoxide, which is Librium, those are medically indicated for alcohol withdrawal if you want to get out, because there's a cross tolerance within the brain to bring somebody down and they calm them down and get them to stop drinking alcohol. And that's just kind of my little dissertation on benzodiazepines. Withdrawal is terrible. You want to avoid it. It's long. Don't put yourself in a long-term benzodiazepine use pattern. And as always, stay tuned, and I'll see you later.